In the history of football, some names are spoken with reverence, whispered like legends. But then there are those who arrive not as a whisper but as a thunderclap. He arrived like a comet, unstoppable, unforgettable. This is the story of Ronaldo Luis Nazário de Lima, the original Ronaldo, the phenomenon. Our story begins not under the bright lights of a stadium, but on the dusty streets of Bento Ribeiro, a suburb of Rio de Janeiro. From the streets of Brazil to the world stage, a young boy with buck teeth and blistering pace was about to rewrite the rules of what a striker could be. He didn't just play football. He was a force of nature, a whirlwind of stepovers and explosive acceleration. His first professional club, Cruzeiro, was just a launching pad. At 17, he scored 44 goals in 47 games. The world wasn't just noticing, it was already mesmerized. Then came the move to Europe. At PSV Eindhoven, he was a revelation. But it was in Spain, at Barcelona, where the phenomenon truly exploded onto the scene. He stunned Europe with speed, skill, and a killer finish. Remember that goal against Compostela? It wasn't just a goal. It was a statement. Picking the ball up in his own half, shrugging off defenders as if they were children, a relentless charge towards goal, and the inevitable, clinical finish. The great Bobby Robson, his manager, could only hold his head in his hands in disbelief. He had seen something beyond comprehension. Ronaldo was a cheat code in real life, a perfect blend of raw power and balletic grace. Every time he touched the ball, the crowd held its breath. You knew something magical was about to happen. These were moments that left defenders on the canvas. He had this signature move, the elastico, the step over, executed at such blinding speed that defenders were often left tackling thin air, their legs tied in knots. He'd feint one way, explode the other, and before the goalkeeper could even set himself, the ball was already nestled in the back of the net. He was scoring goals that others could only dream of. He won the Ballon d'Or in 1997, the youngest ever to do so. He moved to Inter Milan for a world record fee. And in the toughest defensive league in the world, Serie A, he continued his reign of terror. He wasn't just a striker. He was an event, a spectacle that everyone, even rival fans, had to watch. But the brightest flames often face the strongest winds. The story of Ronaldo is also a story of immense pain and incredible resilience. His knees, the very source of his explosive power, began to betray him. A devastating tendon rupture in his right knee was a tragedy. The world watched in horror as he collapsed, clutching his leg, his face a mask of agony. Injury nearly ended him. Doctors were grim. Many said he would never play again, that the phenomenon was finished. He spent almost 2 years in a grueling, lonely battle of rehabilitation. The physical pain was immense, but the mental fortitude required to come back from that brink was something else entirely. The world held its breath. Could he do it? The 2002 World Cup in Japan and South Korea would be the ultimate test. He arrived not as the explosive force of 1998, but as a different player, smarter, more economical with his movement, but with that killer instinct still burning brighter than ever. And with that questionable but now iconic haircut, he began his redemption arc. Goal after goal, he carried Brazil on his shoulders. In the final against a formidable German side led by the Titan Oliver Kahn, Ronaldo was the difference. He pounced on a rebound for the first and coolly slotted home the second. The tears that flowed weren't of pain this time, but of pure, unadulterated joy. He returned to lift the World Cup, scoring 8 goals to win the Golden Boot. It was the greatest comeback story football has ever seen. The phenomenon was back on top of the world. His journey continued at Real Madrid, joining the Galacticos, a team of superstars. Even surrounded by names like Zidane, Figo, and Beckham, Ronaldo's goal-scoring prowess stood out. He adapted his game again, becoming a pure lethal number 9. His movement in the box was poetry, his finishing second to none. He could score with his right foot, his left foot, with power, with finesse. He made scoring look like the easiest, most natural thing in the world. He remains the only player to have won the World Cup, the Golden Ball, and the Golden Boot. So, when we talk about the greatest strikers, the conversation must always include him. He was the blueprint. Before him, strikers were either big and strong or small and quick. Ronaldo was both. He had the power of a heavyweight and the feet of a dancer. He influenced a whole generation of forwards who came after him, from Ibrahimovic to Messi to Mbappe. They all grew up watching him, trying to replicate his magic. Ronaldo is the blueprint for modern strikers. A player defined not just by his staggering talent, but by his unbreakable will to overcome adversity and reclaim his throne. An icon, a legend, a phenomenon. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey through the career of a true footballing giant. If you enjoyed this story, please hit that like button and subscribe for more legends. We'll see you in the next one.